Yo, what's up, y'all? What's up? This Throwback, I'm sure. You know, wanted to come back and get it's been about a week or so since I did a show. I was focused on finishing up my book. I just completed my book. And I gotta say, it was hard. It took a long time for me to get to the point of doing the book and trying to get it done. And I wouldn't have been able to get it done without the help of Shannon Cox. Without Shannon Cox, I wouldn't have been able to get my book done. Because how I did the book was, we would record it, I would record it, she would record a video, and then she would go home and type it out. And so I was really on her like, yo, I need the book. I need you to hurry up. The publishers. And so in between doing her two jobs and doing what she had to do, taking care of her daughter and stuff, she squeezed my book out, and we started in, when did we start? We started in November. And I think we got about 10,000 words or something like that. And so they read it, some of the stuff I wrote, and so they was loving it. And so the more positive feedback, that was making me want to get the book more. I need the book. But I wanted to say my book is done. It's complete. I came up with the title. The title is going to be Black and Green. The struggle to do both. A black man wearing a green uniform in the army, trying to make sure you carry yourself with, the way you supposed to, you know what I mean? And but then still also keeping in mind that you're black. Because I feel like if you go all the way back to the Civil War, 200,000 black men fought for the freedom for us. So from early on, and even before that, you go all the way back to Crispus Attucks, was the first person shot in the Revolutionary War and all of this stuff. So you go all the way back, we was fighting. So I feel like, especially I even had a guy hit me up and went to high school with him. I ain't gonna mention his name, but went to high school with him. And he going, sure, the military ain't no place for no black man and all this. And I'm like, to me, it's like, that shit lame. That shit lame because it's a lot of black people that served in the military with honors. And I know when I was in the military, I ran into a lot of black people that was still black. That wasn't on those. So it's funny. It's easy for people that's not in a situation to make comments on something and they never lived that life. You know what I mean? But enough of that. So yeah, the book done. Shout out to Miss Shannon Cox for helping me get it done, and it should be in the store soon. I got a plan. I've been reaching out, I've been emailing the New York Times editor. I done emailed the people that do the books in New York Times. I done emailed the Military Times, the Army Times. I done reached out to the DAV. I done reached out to the lady that does the purchasing for the VA as far as getting her my book. And she was like, yeah, get it to me. So I'm trying to think of avenues where I can actually sell my book at and all that. So I got a plan. So we're going to see how that work out. I'm trying to sell 100,000 copies, man. Hopefully the 35, 50 of y'all that watch my show about a book too. Right? Hey, and shout out to Napalm J Quan, new subscriber. That's Tiz and DA brother. Little tall brother. I remember Boy J was a long kid, man. Dude was a long kid. He been 5%er for a while and shit. I don't really know his name. It's DA Dave Tiz, Thomas, Tony. I don't remember Jaquan's name. Man, that might be his name. I don't know. I can't even remember his name. They moms, Miss Primus, Pops passed away. Remember watching him, Mr. Brown and stuff. Dave Pops, Mr. Primus, and Fuzzy and Tawana. Dave, Fuzzy, Tawana, and that other guy. I ain't gonna say the other guy. That other guy, Pops. Yo, I used to watch them. You know what I mean? So say growing up. Watch me tie in. So growing up, you know, because I didn't have no father figure, no male role model around, or whatever the case may be. So I would watch, observe other people, other men. I would watch how, you know, so I would watch how Mr. Brown, you know, come home and stuff. He would tell me some of the stuff he would do and what he was doing to take care of his family and stuff like that. Me and Mr. Brown actually would talk because he was doing, I think he was cab driving at the time or whatever, right? And so I say, because you know we need to bring back role models, uncles, and all that positive influence. So that's because I said that on the last show. So yeah, so Mr. Brown would talk to me and stuff like that or whatever. He would work a lot. He would work a lot. Mr. Primus, I remember Mr. Primus going, and he would come home. They had a lot. It was a lot. I don't even know how many brothers and sisters it was. 8, 7, 8 of them, whatever it was. He would come home with big bags of clothes and shit that he would get out by his job or whatever. But he would come home and dump them out. There'd be sneakers in there, jeans, and they would just go crazy. And I remember sitting there watching that like, so then I could remember when I was in working at Target. I was working at Target, and Shane and Sherm, they was little, like 1 and 2 or whatever they was and shit. And coming home from Target with a knapsack full of clothes and shit. Word. Because they wasn't paying me no money. $8 an hour. I gotta take some clothes out of here. You motherfuckers is underpaying me. Word up. Y'all underpaying me. The kids, the allowance, you know what I mean? Jobs. Yeah. Done, how things turned out, my father, grandfather, relationships as a form of, torture. Yeah, I was talking about how I look at my relationships, but let's get off of that. Let's go back to the women's, right? So I saw a report about hair care products for black women and how they have more cancer-causing chemicals in the hair dyes for black women than they have in the hair care product for white women. So all them blondes and all of them dyes, so be careful. Be careful with that one. I seen that, I was like, damn, 30% more chemicals, cancer-causing chemicals in hair care products for black women than it is for, so be careful with some of that cheap, and it be the cheap stuff. So you get that cheap stuff, and that cheap stuff be the stuff that got the won't in it. The won't. Yeah, you don't want the won't. You know, let me get the hair stuff and y'all keep the won't. So maybe natural hair care products or whatever. Oh yeah, I forgot I had this hat on. This the unit I was with. This the who I was with. I was with Big Red 1, Fort Riley. So that's the one right there, whatever. And this is 1st Infantry, yeah, 1st Infantry, and then the Big Red 1 right there, or whatever, right? My boy Wright, Willie Wright gave me this. I went to the desert with him and shit. Me and my boy Wright, so, yeah, so he gave me this hat, and I put it on. I got the green on because I got my book done. So I was like, yeah, I wanted to get on here, and I wanted to talk about that. I wanted to talk about how the black community still talking that dumb shit that black ain't no way. It's a lot of places that ain't no place for black people. NYPD, definitely. Corrections, like these are places where you really lose your soul as a black person. And you want to talk about the military, please. I done seen correction officers and cops that's like pretty much crackers with black skin. So miss me with that one. So that's the first one. But going back to the women. So now I seen they have this radiology place office here in Raleigh that went out of business. And they went out of business because they was giving images with a faulty machine. So they was giving mammograms to women with a faulty machine and then just sent out a little fucking letter like, oh yeah, our machine is in, we gonna close down now, but don't worry about the tests and everything. Everything's huh? Yo. Some of the shit they be doing nowadays, it don't make no sense to me. It don't make no sense to me. That shit was crazy. How can you put so many people health at risk and send some little rinky-dink letter out there like that? And yeah, we close down now and that's it. Yeah. Somebody need to get out there. And they got a class action lawsuit. Yeah, they sure do. So if you're in North Carolina and you've been to the radiology clinic over there on Blue Ridge Road, y'all need to call, I forget the lawyer name. Look the lawyer up. He got a class action lawsuit where you could sign on the dotted line. And because they got white women out there complaining about it, they gonna get that money. Watch. So if you went there, it's a lawyer's name. Oh, dang. What's his name? I could tell y'all his name right now. What's his name? Fuck it, I ain't gonna look for it. I should have had it wrote down. But yeah, it's a you can find it. All you gotta do is look up the radiology thing, and then it'll pop up the lawyer that's representing them. Even when you look at the article, it'll have his name at the bottom. All right, next one. I was telling someone that the way things was done, how things turned out. Yeah, so I was talking about, like, earlier I was talking about heaven and hell and all that. Ain't no up and down and evil and good. That's all in you, right? It's all mind tricks, right? And so and then so you go, well, how can you say that? And then so this is how I got to this, because being a man that I am, and then having relationships with some of my children and my grandkids the way they are, shit, that's like a form of torture. Hell on earth. I'm in hell right now. As far as that particular situation go, I feel like it's not what I want it to be. I don't know when, if it'll change. You know what I mean? And so even though you put it in the back of your mind and you deal with situations the way it is, if you was to be honest and talk about it, it's like, yo, that shit hell. Some truth, real shit, make people mad. Yeah, people. Yeah, it's funny. So I talked to Joe this week. I talked to Joe B. How would that? So we hadn't talked since, I want to say April of last year and everything. And I guess I was in my feelings a little bit, because when I started doing this show and everything, I guess in my head, I guess when you don't explain every thought, every particular thought or thinking behind how you got to a thought or why you doing something or whatever, and you give people half the picture, so you can't expect them to really, really understand what you're trying to do. And so when I started this off, I was starting it off, people might say on the left foot, but I thought it served a purpose, like to come out and tell about what I did, my past, not glorifying it, because I love my childhood and shit. I didn't do nothing, I didn't murder nobody, I ain't do nothing crazy. Yeah, I did some dumb shit, but I ain't do nothing that reprehensible, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I sold narcotics, but that's what they gave us. They pumped it in there and made it cheap for us. You know what I mean? You was able to buy cheap back then. That's what they did. You see the show Snowfalls? That's what they did. They had CIA planes bringing tons and tons of cocaine in here to get at people. But I started the show. I started off negative, but then, you know, for me to be able to talk to people real, I had to be real with them all the way. And so the show evolved, and I think I got my direction now. I figured I know what I'm doing and where I'm headed and everything. And so for me, going back to Joe was like, I just felt like, I don't know, like I thought it just seemed like he was saying negative, and he wasn't saying negative. He was just like, yo, Key, I think you should more focus on the military thing. And I just said I did the book, right? So he was telling me, and so I wasn't even thinking about the military thing. I wasn't even thinking about it. But then this year, I'm like, yo, I see a path where I could actually make some money, get my foot in the door. And so I reached out to him, and we talked and everything. And I told him, I said, yo, I explained and everything. And it's all love. It's all love. Wasn't no issues. But I just feel like, even going back to what the other guy said, the military ain't no place for a black man and whatever. Like, black people don't support each other when they doing positive. We could support each other for negative. They support, you know, I got a brother in jail. You know what I'm saying? I got people, family members in jail and shit. Other, you know what I'm saying? Friends and shit in jail. So it ain't like I'm saying fuck prisoners, but I'm saying that they, you know, y'all show people locked up love. You know what I'm saying? What about that soldier? What about that dude that's going to school getting good grades? You know what I'm saying? Why is Bill Clinton at the game important? Man, I tell you, man, politics. But yeah, so it's all good though. It's all good. You know, we talk, we cool. I talk to Ice. You know, and so I think sometimes when I talk, maybe I be coming across judgmental, but it's like I really care. Like, I don't talk to people I don't care about, really. I don't talk to people I don't like. You know what I'm saying? So if I talk to you or we having a conversation, that means I like you, I care for you, or whatever the case may be. Because, you know what I'm saying? But then in that same breath, when I start talking, you know what I'm saying, sometimes I be too uncut raw with the verbiage. Like, I need to soften it up. But I told my son tonight, like, I'm a man, I was in a war. I mean, what the fuck? Don't rub me the wrong way. What do you want? But me and Ice, we talk, we good. Was no problem with me and Ice. Wasn't no issues or whatever. But it's better to call a brother and make sure than to leave it hanging and then you don't talk to a brother for years or whatever like that. That shit is not the way to go neither. Right? So then I talked to my son, then I talked to my son Sherm, the oldest one and stuff. Me and him had a little ruffles or whatever. But you know, people ain't gonna always agree. People ain't gonna always see eye to eye. You gotta respect everybody's differences and respect where they coming from, and then you move on. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, we all grown. We all gotta live up, you know, walk our path. How many? This was one popped in my head. So they got that Harley Quinn movie coming out. So how many black women gonna be screaming they Harley Quinn now? Yeah, it's crazy. Audley Moore. Audrey. It's not Audrey. Is it Audrey? Audley. Audrey Moore. Sister back in the 1900s. Black. Positive. She was part of talking about how they started the first longshore organization in Louisiana that controlled the docks. This was one of the first unions that they ever started. Like a lot of stuff we start, they end up taking, man. They said she was talking about the reason why I was listening to her, because she was talking about how it was for us before we got integrated, before when we were still segregated, how the schools was. And she said back then the schools only went up to the 8th grade. You know, 4th grade you was done with school. If you went all the way to the 8th grade, then that's when you ended up being a teacher. The people that went all the way through to the 8th grade, they ended up being a teacher and teaching the kids. and stuff. And then the people that went up to the 6 or whatever, they ended up doing other stuff, mathematician or whatever the case, author, writer, whatever. And then so you think about it, like, when we was teaching us, we cared more about teaching us, so it was better. It was better. We learned more. We learned faster. And it wasn't all this ADAD and all of this. I seen even now with the math in North Carolina, the parents are speaking out because the math is so confusing that the kids can't even get it. So instead of them, they done adjusted the math so much to where it's so dumb that the kids can't even get it. I go in sometimes and be looking at some 4th, 5th grade math. I'm like, what are they teaching them? What are they teaching them? Shout out to my man Redman. Shout out to my man Redman with his single, I Slapped the Shit Out You. Yo, I posted on Twitter, that's my 2020 vibe, right? Redman retweeted it a couple of times. This my vibe. I was like, yeah, Redman. Yeah, I be on Twitter trying to get my Twitter followers up, trying to get Twitter famous and shit. Cause I figure once I get my book, then it's going on Twitter, it's going on Facebook, it's going on all of the military sites or whatever the case may be. So you know, yeah. So, but yeah, okay. Next one, Shawnee Bird. Shawnee Bird. Shout out to Shawnee Bird. Word up. We spoke for a minute. I ain't speak to Shawnee Bird in. How we say on Howard, y'all? Da-da-da-da-ding. I ain't speak to him in years, right? And so, R.I.P. Shout out to his pops, Rook. Rook the Crook, that's what we used to call him. OG, looked like dudes that I used to look up to. Still looked up. He was like, when I was too young to hold a family down, single moms. When I was too young to hold a family down, we had people that we could call. You know what I mean? Rook was one. Rook, we called Rook. And you know, because he was friends with my sister Terry, R.I.P. I love when I get to bring my sister Terry up organically. So my sister Terry, and my niece Tina's father, Darry Simmons. Darry is gone too. Darry Simmons, he was Pee Wee Simmons. So it was Rook the Crook, Pee Wee, Chabo, and that was the Notion Ave in a rock crew. You know what I mean? So yeah, we had any problems or whatever the case may be. Rook, I remember Rook was always cool, smooth, positive and shit. But if you needed something, he got you. So it's nice to reach out to his son and shit, to see he doing good. He affiliated with Mano some kind of way. You know what I mean? So but shout out to Mano, shout out to Shawnee Bird. And yo, word up, man. Okay, yeah. So, okay, I got more people from over there. I wrote this a while ago. So then you got Freddie and Shirley. They lived in a laundromat on the corner of Clifton Place, 340. Yeah, 340. No, 340 Clifton Place was this side. The big building, 301, was across the street. The red building right on the corner and shit over the laundromat. The Boys Club on Tompkins Avenue and shit. PS 256 playing ball. Me and Tim riding a bus. That was our vibe over here. That was our vibe. And so, yeah, so shout out to Shawnee Bird. Shout out to N.A. Rock. You know what I'm saying? That's where, you know, we cut our Brooklyn teeth at on N.A. Rock. So yeah, so more conversations from space. You know, we call it conversations from space. So chick hit me up. Hey, check out my YouTube. You got some money? I said, what? She said, so I could hack your YouTube channel and make your views go up. I'm like, for what? Fake views? I mean, like, so I can feel good about fake numbers that you done tweaked up on my... Shit not helpful. That's all I said on that one. Shit not helpful. Word, word, word. Here's another one. You can't change the system from the outside. We as people need to be in certain careers, positions to affect change. You got to stop being a spectator. Word. So, yeah, I just said don't go be cops. But you got to have some good black cops in there that's holding us down. We got to have good black doctors, good black lawyers. You know what I'm saying? We got to have people on the school board. We got to have principals. We got to have us out there in all walks of life acting like this actually our country, looking out for each other. Then we'll be better. Word up. So, yeah. So, oh, let me talk about the property situation, property taxes in New York City. So they just did the reevaluation of the property taxes not property taxes, the property values in North Carolina. Let me show you how they work their magic, right? Because they do this in every state. But North Carolina, they did it 4 years instead of waiting 8 years. And let's see what the effect. So they take a house that's worth $174,000, and they say, "Oh, now, Mr. Holloway, your house worth $225,000. So you got to pay more taxes on your house." And so some people that can't afford that might have to sell a house now because they can't afford to pay the higher taxes and stuff. And so this is one of the ways that they do. And then after they sent these letters out, so now you got the mortgage company call me and say, "Oh, we were servicing your loan, servicing my loan. We were servicing your loan and to see how we could strengthen, and we see that, so in other words, because I'm down to 160 owed on a house that's worth 220,000, they see $60,000 in there they want me to borrow. So they could get my mortgage payment back up high as hell or whatever and take the house. So that way they could put somebody else in here that look more like what they want in certain areas. And that's how they do it. That's how they gentrify. That's how they gentrify. Because Raleigh did it, and they could have waited 4 more years. They could have waited 4 more years. But nah, we going to do it now because we want it to more accurately reflect. Yeah, y'all just want to price people out the range. But I found the loophole. So the loophole for me is that veterans that's at a certain percentage in disability percentage in North Carolina could get a tax credit up to $45,000 on your house. So my house went up, I could get this tax credit, and boom, and it'll drop back down. We saying all this to say, talking about houses, talking about property reevaluations, talking about taxes and stuff like that. These are type things that you need to know. And here's a thing. If you don't have to refinance, don't. Because every time you refinance, you start the clock over. So if you don't need to refinance, you're not in dire straits, just keep working with the mortgage you got. Unless you're getting into a lower percentage on your house, lower percentage financing rate, or you need the money. You need the money or something like that. If those is the case, then do what you got to do. But if you can afford to not refinance, don't refinance, because they want you to refinance. They want you to keep starting the clock over, so it gives them more opportunity to take the house from you, and it gives them more opportunity to make more money off of you. The longer you got the house paying, they could get more money off of you. So, yeah, that's the show. I feel like the reason why I'm doing this show and the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing and trying to live like I'm living is because we need more strong black men out there. We need more positive, strong black men out there that's actually doing something with themselves, that's not looking for no crumbs from the white man to take care of us. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm struggling. So I'm Al Sharpton. I get them to stop protesting. You give me some money. Or I'm this brother on the brothers on Twitter, the young brothers now that, oh, I want to check for this, starting this up. I want to check for this. Come to my luncheon, this and this and that. Nah, I don't need all that. And when y'all come to my house for my barbecues, y'all eat free. You know what I mean? So you getting everything for free over here with me. So that's what I'm doing. I'm chilling. I'm doing my thing. I'm living life. I'm trying to be the best. I got plans. I'm working them. When it's either we working together, we doing something positive, or, you know what I'm saying, I'm moving on. You know what I mean? No love lost. That's just what it is. You got to be doing something different now. Word, 2020, my year. I hope y'all year started off the same way, positive. Keep pushing, keep trying, and like Dougie said, keep rising to the top. On that note, this Big Sherm, love, man, I holla.